further, you're watching The Brief with Jessy Chahal. Thanks for joining me. Of course, this is the brand new program where we hope to bring you insights and peeks into some of the most important news stories, as well as having discussions with industry experts, subject matter experts, and people of the like, weighing in on some of these very important issues that help to shape our nation and make our nation greater. Whatever the case, we promise we'll keep it brief. Hey, look, things are opening up now in terms of, more relaxed SOPs, but the responsibility, the onus is still on each and every one of us. We, of course, cannot go on living under a mushroom, so they say, or live in a cocoon. We have to get back our sense of normalcy. We have to get back into the routine of life. Now, this, of course, is something the Health DG has just tweeted, and he has said interstate travel will be allowed in the next few days. These restrictions, he say, will be lifted. But he's also reminded all of us that it is important to take all precautions like wearing a mask, washing your hands, and physical distancing, even those who have been vaccinated. On this edition, I am joined by Nordin in the Nordin Crisis Brief coming up shortly, but I also speak to Tan Chi Kun from the Be Good, Do Good Association to talk about the charity awards that's coming up. But let's look at what's been happening at the Parliament from the Prime Minister. He says that the government will not arbitrarily open the country's borders to foreign travellers, as permission for entry will depend on the COVID-19 situation in their countries of origin. Right now, the Prime Minister says the government will only allow those who have been fully vaccinated to enter the country, but the borders are still closed for tourists. If Malaysia were to open the borders, he says, to foreign travellers, every development that's related to COVID-19 in their countries of origin will also have to be taken into consideration. He's reminded us that in every decision, the government will seek the advice and the recommendations from the Ministry of Health based on the risk assessments. We also know that the ministry is looking at data, and that is important as well. From the Communications and Multimedia Minister, the minister says that the ministry has no plan to propose any form of new tax to be imposed on e-commerce activities. This was said at the Dewan Negara earlier today. Instead, Minister Tan Sri Anwar Musa said that the ministry wanted to encourage more people to participate in such activities. And from the Tourism, Arts and Culture Minister, Dr. Sri Nancy Shukri, she says Malaysia's estimated losses in tourist expenditure are set to rise further to 165 billion ringgit this year from about 135 billion ringgit same time last year. Of course, due to the implementation of the MCO Order 3.0. Now, the tourism sector has faced over 12 months of little or no business. As we also know, there have been many job losses or cuts as well. So tourism, the minister says, is more than just a leisure. It's more than a holiday. It is and does provide for jobs and stable incomes for so many people. It does to help support 1 in every 4 jobs in fact, particularly for destinations most reliant on tourism, remote areas, and even semi and low skilled labor. So a lot of things kind of really hinge on how much the tourism sector can regain from the hit it has taken. But the minister has also reminded that before the borders reopen, it is important to be prepared with a recovery plan and to re-strategize in order to gain a competitive edge for the tourism industry, particularly in the ASEAN region. And I'm sure many of the tourism players, from the car operators right up to the hotel operators and beyond, are all looking at how they can get a bigger chunk of this pie as well. So quickly, the Health Director General has reminded us that interstate travel will be allowed in the next few days. We'll keep you updated with that. It's time to bring in Nordin for the Nordin Crisis Brief. Nordin, what do you have for us today?
Well, thank you very much, Jessy. It's great to be here again. And one of the things that we're looking at is what is going to happen when borders are reopened. And I think when we talk about dealing with potential crisis, one of the things that we have hit is some very good numbers in the last few months. We're now at 88.8% of total vaccination for the adult population. And that's one thing that has really allowed us to have this opportunity to open borders again. And you have to take the time to thank all the frontliners in the Ministry of Health and MOSTI who have tirelessly got this done over the last few months. And at the same time, the community, everyone in Malaysia who has gone out and got vaccinated. So it's a joint effort. And I think this is one of the strategies that the ministry is hoping to see moving forward. We're not done with COVID-19 yet. Yes, we're moving from pandemic to endemic, but it's not over. The game is not done. So we need to continue to work as a community. We need to continue to deal with the threat as it poses a threat to our lives and our livelihoods.
Mm-hmm. That's right. So we understand that now interstate travel, is on that list as well, on that hot list of things that will be more relaxed. We also know that borders at this point of time not open yet, but open for Malaysians. What are the few next steps forward, in your opinion, based on how quickly things are opening up as well? But on the side, we're also seeing a surge in cases in a few states. So how do we make sense of this? And from a crisis perspective, I guess, Nordin, how do we prevent something before it sort of gets out of control?
When it comes to crisis, we always want to talk about containment. And opening up borders is exactly the opposite of containment. But having said that, we need to take that opportunity to open the border so we can open the economy. So what's going to be critical in the coming days and weeks ahead is going to be communications. And communications from the government to the people, and also ensuring that we don't get caught up with the issues around fake news, misinformation, and malinformation, where we see that this becomes a threat to people's lives and livelihoods. So those states which are going to be opened up first, whether it's going to be certain states are going to be able to move, maybe not the entire country will be able to be opened up in one go. We need to understand that in terms of our decision-making matrix. At the same time, when we do want to move first, we should look at what's critical to be done first. Yes, many of us will say going on a holiday is critical. But when we look at the critical movement of people, those families who have been disjointed over the last few months should be given priority. Those with parents in other parts of the country should be given priority. Yes, we want to open up tourism. Yes, it's going to boom. Tourism will boom. But what we need to do is also come back to the SOPs, and the SOPs are going to keep us safe. This is still going to be, masks are still going to be mandatory, and there's still going to be a key tool in dealing with COVID-19. Following SOPs are still going to be important. Like I said, the game is not over. The threat is still there. Yes, we've hit excellent numbers with COVID-19 vaccinations, but we still have to stay vigilant during this time.
A new norm indeed. In fact, I just want to bring in some updates here that we're getting. At Bernama, Pontian Member of Parliament Ahmad Mazlan has withdrawn from the position of Deputy Speaker of the Dewan Rakyat in terms of standing as a candidate. And also KKM, the Ministry of Health, has signed a letter of pledge for purchase of antiviral drug Molnupiravir, which increases alternative treatments for COVID-19. In terms of treatment as well, we're seeing somewhat of a progress, and we're seeing more people getting inoculated. It seems that our walls of defense are gaining strength as well, Nordin.
Exactly. We've started to understand that COVID-19 is going to be here. We can't get rid of COVID-19, but the reality is we're going to start to live with it. We're starting to deal with it as a threat, as a threat to lives and livelihoods. But we need to remain vigilant, and part of this vigilance is dealing with it as a community. If we see people not following SOPs, if we see people, crowding together, we've got to take the step, which is very difficult from a cultural perspective, to say, look, guys, please follow the SOPs. It's part of being a good citizen now is following SOPs, no matter where you're from, how old you are, or what you're doing.
Nordin, it's been a pleasure speaking to you. Thanks for bringing us up to speed in terms of perspectives, looking in on current issues from the lens of a crisis communications analyst and expert. We'll speak to you soon. Have a wonderful weekend. Of course, that was Nordin Abdullah weighing in a little bit more in his segment, the Nordin Crisis Brief, telling us a little bit about what's going on in the country. But of course, Nordin did bring this up initially when we started speaking, and that was about the inoculation or the vaccination rate, and that number stands at 88.8% of the adult population in the country have already completed their vaccination. These numbers as fresh as of 24 hours ago, just a 1.2 percentage point short of the targeted 90%. So we are almost there, and I guess that's why also the health DG has come out to say, well, look, interstate travel may be allowed soon. We'll wait for better clarity from the Minister of Health, and I'm sure from the health DG as well. Now, based on the Ministry of Health's data on the COVID Now portal, 94.6% of individuals of the adult population have received at least one dose, while 4.1% of those aged between 12 to 17 have completed their vaccination. So we're seeing those numbers come up as well. Now, according to the Bukit Aman Crime Investigation Department, its director, Dr. Sri Abdul Jalil Hassan, has said that PDRM is investigating a viral video clip which contains disparaging remarks on non-Muslim faiths and race linked to an independent preacher. This video, it's 1 minute long, and it was disseminated over social media in the past few days. It has, of course, created a lot of uneasiness. Many people have lodged reports as well, and so the police are also saying that an investigation is being carried out. The police are also calling on the public to not make any speculation at this point. Apparently, it can and may affect the investigations. What the police are saying is that they will follow up on this particular case, and stern action, they have reminded us, will be taken against any individual found threatening public order and security as well. So good to know that the ministry as well as the police are on the ball. I'm getting some updates coming in on the side here from Bernama. Monsoon season aid of 600 ringgit for Rista smallholders will be channeled in November and December. This is a statement just released by the Rista chairman, and residents in the capital city can now personally contact the FT Minister, Datuk Sri Shahidan Kasim, his deputy, or even the KL mayor to file a direct complaint over unmaintained road surfaces. And so this is something the FT is saying, hey, look, we want to hear what's troubling you. We want to take action as well. A lot more updates coming from there, but here's an issue that is still important for us to always protect, and that is our national security, harmony and unity within the country. According to the Human Rights Commissioner Gerald Joseph, he says people should stand together in order to stamp out religious prejudice. Also, he insists that more people should speak out against religious persecution. He also points out that everyone has the freedom to express, but it must not be used as a tool to incite hatred, and this freedom must never be abused as well. Now, also the Malaysian Consultative Council of Buddhism, Christianity, Hinduism, Sikhism, and Taoism wants action to be taken against anyone sowing hatred against other religions. This outcry over religious prejudice arose, of course, with the recent issue that I just shared with you by a Muslim preacher saying that Hindus and Buddhists were out to exterminate Muslims, citing incidents in Myanmar and India to back his claims. It's one man's agenda, and let's not have that ruin our national harmony and unity and friendship and brotherhood and sisterhood that we have here in Malaysia. Moving on, according to UNICEF, at least 1 in 7 children and young people around the world who lived under stay-at-home policies are developing feelings of anxiety, depression, and isolation. In Malaysia alone, stats on suicides released by the police in July this year revealed that 872, or half of the cases recorded between January in 2019 till May this year, involved those aged between 15 and 18. Very fragile time indeed in these young teenagers' lives. Meanwhile, in 2019, the National Health Survey finds that 424,000 children in Malaysia have some kind of mental related health problems. UNICEF Malaysia Chief of Child Protection Sarah Norton-Stahl says even prior to the pandemic, children and young people have been carrying the burden of mental health conditions without significant investment in addressing them. And here's a PSA and a big, cry out as well. If you are feeling lonely, distressed, you're having any negative thoughts, there is help available. Please consult a friend or a loved one who you feel you can trust. Befrienders offers free and confidential support. That their hotline is operational 24 hours a day. Please contact them at this number 0379568145. That's in Penang, or if even in an Ipoh 0554777933, or you can simply email sam at befrienders.org.my. There are many volunteers and people who are on the ground assisting those who are, in somewhat of a predicament, whether it's mentally, whether it's financially, especially during this COVID-19 pandemic. We've seen these, silent soldiers, and these angels really emerge within our communities. I'm sure speaking to you right now and just saying this, you yourself perhaps can think of two or three people within your network who you would say are doing somewhat of some kind of charity work. But bringing in now on the program, I'd like to bring in my guest for today, Tan Chi Kun. He's from the Be Good, Do Good Association. And just that already brings a smile to my face, because don't just be good, do good as well. And that is what the association is set out to do, to recognize all the organizations, individuals out there who have played an important role in being good and doing good. Chikun, welcome and thanks for being with us today. We know that Be Good, Do Good is also putting out a charity award this year. Tell us more about that.
Thank you, Jessy. Yeah, the Be Good Do Good Virtual Annual Convention is a 2 days event. So the first day will be on this Saturday, 9 October at 9:30 a.m., where we will be hosting an appreciation day for the participants and the judges of the Be Good Do Good Charity Awards. Then on Sunday, 10th October 2021 at 9 a.m., we'll be conducting our annual meeting and announcing the award winners. There are several key highlights of the Be Good Do Good Virtual Annual Convention. Okay, so the first highlight will be the announcement of the finalists and the 4 winners of our Be Good Do Good Charity Awards. The second highlight will be our 2 guest speakers. Okay, we have invited Mr. Prem Rawat, the world-renowned global peace ambassador and the author of New York Times top 10 best-selling book, Hear Yourself, who will be sharing with us his keynote speech entitled Goodness is Innate. We have also invited Uncle Kentang, our local charity icon and the recipient of Commonwealth Point of Light Award, who will be sharing with us his journey on doing good. So if you are starting a charity project or if you would like to get involved in charity, I encourage you to join this event to learn from the experts as well as from your peers. Yeah, so our event will be conducted online using Zoom and YouTube Live. To participate in this event, please go to the website vac2021.bgdg.my and click on the going button. So you'll find the Zoom link as well as the WhatsApp group link in the website. Yeah.
Super easy and super safe as well. Everyone can stay at home. You can still be doing good from home. Let's talk a little bit about that, Chikun. I mean, a lot of times one may feel that just to help and extend and help a helping hand is perhaps something not within their reach. But tell us a little bit more about what you're seeing through Be Good, Do Good, or BGDG, and how you see people really, uh, making that a priority, or making that an important element of our life, so that we have that balance as well.
Yeah, so there are many good Samaritans in Malaysia. So people from all walks of life. Yeah, but many of them not just want to do goods, but do not know how and so on. So what we do over here is that we actually assist these people, okay, by giving them programs that will actually helps them to participate in charity events and also to be actually get involved in charity. So basically, we have the experts that are at the be good side, okay, which helps you to learn how to do good, okay, and also on the do good side, which has volunteers that will actually go out to actually look for people in needs, and then we also get volunteers to help to involve in helping those people. Yeah.
Chikun, I also see that some of the values that BGDG advocates through the association are things like truthfulness and compassion, virtue, universal principles, wisdom. What's interesting and what's wonderful about this is that these are virtues that cut across any religious background that you may come from. So tell us a little bit about that beyond religion, beyond our beliefs, beyond spiritualism, that doing good is part of perhaps it's sewn in our fabric.
Yes. So goodness is actually what makes us human. Actually, yeah. So it's innate in our nature. So it cuts across racial or religions or cultural barrier. So to do good, you don't have to segmentize ourselves by the group of by religion or by cultural means and so on. So what we do, what we like to encourage people to do is that when you help people, when you do goods, actually it should come from your inner self. Yeah, like what Mr. Prem Rawat has actually taught us, that goodness is innate. Yeah, so it comes from inside of us, and then we should help anyone with regards of whether what backgrounds they are from. Yeah.
So, of course, the main focus and the activities of BGDG are sort of ingrained in a few different areas of four groupings: social welfare, social economy, social integration, and social education as well. Pretty much taking care of all the aspects there. What are some of your wishes for the charity awards this year and in the near future, Chiku?
Yeah, we hope that with these charity awards, we will be able to encourage more individuals and organizations to put their efforts to help the community itself. And this awards is basically just a token of appreciations to appreciate the works that they have done to the community and not to the society at large.
Thank you so much, Shikun, for joining us. And here's wishing you, the entire team at Be Good, Do Good, and of course, all the Good Samaritans and volunteers out there as well. Keep flying the flag up high. And it is people and heroes like you that truly matter in our society. Till then, take care and stay
Thank you,
safe.
Jessy.
It's a pleasure speaking to Tan Chi Kun from the Be Good, Do Good Association. Of course, they're having a charity awards this year to recognize and also, I guess, to celebrate associations and individuals who've played an important role in promoting the culture of be good and do good as well. Here's some quick updates coming in as well. The Health Director General, Tan Sri Dr. Nur Hisham Abdullah, has said a total of 392 positive cases involving variants of concerns or VOC was detected in the country from September 25th until yesterday. Of the total, he said 384 cases were of the Delta variant and 8 others of Beta variant as well. Tan Sri Anwar Musa, on the other hand, says the government is maintaining the country's broadband connectivity to ensure 100% penetration. This was part of the government's efforts to encourage youth participation in the digital economy as well. That's all the updates locally. Let's take a quick snapshot at what's happening internationally. Now, at least 20 people have been killed and more than 200 injured after a magnitude 5.7 earthquake struck in the early hours close to Harnai, a town in Balochistan, Pakistan. The quake was relatively shallow at about 20 kilometers with an epicenter of 14 kilometers from Harnai and 102 kilometers east of Quetta, according to the US Geological Survey. Harnai's Deputy Commissioner Sohail Anwar said more than 100 mud-walled houses collapsed with a large number of buildings damaged, including government buildings. Energy consumers in the European Union and United Kingdom are facing record high gas and electricity prices as their markets continue to suffer from depleted energy stock. Now, gas storage sites in the UK and the EU are currently at 76% capacity, down from the seasonal average of 90%, according to the Gas Infrastructure Europe. All right, quick look at Malaysia as well. It was not aman in the national football team's camp in Jordan. The Harimau Malaya were outcast by Jordan 0-4 in an international friendly match at the King Abdullah second stadium in Amman, Jordan, just over on Wednesday. Ali Olwan would indeed thank his lucky stars as he benefited from three defensive mistakes to score in 34th, 47th, and 49th minute. The other goal scorer was Odai Al Safi. And that's a little bit in sports right there. As we move on in what's happening around the globe as well, the WHO has released a statement yesterday saying that the only approved vaccine against malaria should be widely given to African children, potentially marking a major advance against the disease that kills hundreds of thousands of people annually. The WHO recommendation is for RTSS, a vaccine developed by the British drug maker GlaxoSmithKline. Now, back in 2019, 2.3 million doses of this particular vaccine was administered to infants in Ghana, in Kenya, and in Malawi in a large-scale pilot program coordinated by the World Health Organization. The majority of those whom the disease kills are aged under 5. That program followed a decade of clinical trials in 7 African countries. Now, the WHO says 94% of malaria cases and deaths occur in Africa, a continent of 1.3 billion people. And FC Barcelona CEO Ferran Reverter said yesterday that the club was near bankruptcy in April and announced 481 million euros in losses. He said the club in April could not continue operating because there was no money, and if the club was Sports Limited Company, it would be a cause for dissolution. The CEO announced a closing of 481 million for the year 2021 or 2020-2021 season. And here's bringing you up to speed what's happening on Twitter. 3 things are trending. Firstly, hashtag Harimau Malaya. People on Twitter have been sharing their support for Team Malaysia after a friendly match against Jordan. And in Africa, of course, just with that update internationally about malaria, it has been killing 150,000 children each year in Africa. Tweets regarding WHO approving the vaccine to protect African children are widely being talked about as well. And Paul Pogba tweets about Paul's contract extension in Manchester United are widely being discussed among fans and supporters on Twitter. Well, that's my time and that's my cue. Thank you so much for being with me on The Brief. Of course, we are back same time, same place tomorrow with more updates and insights. Do join us then. Until then, take care and stay safe. Bye-bye.